Okay, today I've got a quick tip or a quick project. It shouldn't take very long to do. I'm going to be using this rubber cement and a binder clip and some small pieces of paper, which I've cut. This is just printer paper that I've cut. It's 1 inch this way and 3/4 of an inch this way. It's about the same. It's the same size that I use to make my books, but what I'm going to be making is a little notepad, the kind that you tear the piece off, you tear the strip of paper off as you need it and whatnot. And what I did was I took a piece of paper and cut it into these strips like this that are 1 inch wide, and then I cut them 3/4 of an inch, all the way across. And I've got, probably, I don't know, probably figure it out, probably about 20 pieces of paper here, 25 pieces, 24 or something like that. Anyway, what I'm going to do is line them up as best as I can to where they're flat on one edge, which I pretty much had already. And then I'll take the binder clip and I will clip those in there to hold them nice and tight. And I can't set this flat because otherwise the flaps will go up like that and get in my way. So I'm going to take this block of wood that I use this for an anvil, but I'm just going to set that on there just to hold it to where it's holding in place. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rubber cement you could probably use PVA glue, but I've always done this with rubber cement. Or I should say I found that rubber cement works really well. And you just put a dab of the rubber cement along that edge, kind of brushing it down a little bit into the paper, but not a whole lot, just to make a nice, edge of rubber cement along that edge there. That's about it. Let that dry. And we'll come back to it. Okay, so we have it's all nice and dry now, and just take that out of the clip, and you can see here that now all the pieces are put together, and take one and tear it off. Probably needs a couple coats. Let's put another coat on there and see how it does. Put a nice thick coat on there. Okay, we'll let that sit for a little bit and come back to it. Okay, and as we can see here now, it's been pretty well cured and whatnot. And I should be able to take a piece and tear that out from there, like that. And so anyway, that's a way to make a really quick tearaway notepad type of thing where you write your note or whatever onto it. Just like that. So anyway, hope you found this usable. There's another thing that you can do too with these if you're using a thicker card, which when you're using a thicker paper and you tear it from the center, a lot of times it'll split like that. And what you can do is you can take gauze, take these gauze pads like this and open them up to where you have this, or you could use some other kind of netting material and cut a piece out of it and attach it and glue that onto it. And you can do that like for like a book binding, and it comes out like this. And you can actually, this is a book that I was making, one of those book safes that I made before, but this turned out to be too big for what I needed to use it for. But you can use that as a binding material to make your small books or something like that out of as well, and that will hold a lot better when you go to tear something from the middle. It won't come apart like that. So anyway, adding that little piece of gauze in there, and then putting, you put the rubber cement down, then you put gauze, and then you put another strip of or another layer of rubber cement over the top of that, and that will bind that a little bit better, a little bit stronger as well. So that's something else to think about doing if you need something that's that, you know, strong. But for something like this, where you're just going to write on the front page and then tear it off, just the rubber cement by itself should work. You can also use PVA glue if you wanted to. I don't know how well that works. I've never tried it, but I've always heard and tried using the rubber cement, and it seems to work really, really well. So anyway, like I say, I hope you found this usable, and let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, have a better day, as I always say.